How's it going, people? Jack here with another video, and oh boy, is it good to be back. I take a week off, and what do we have? The internet going under. On one end we have our brothers and sisters across the pond experiencing what I would call one of the greatest moments of censorship ever, with the UK government forcing them to use government ID, which they have been vehement at telling people not to ever share it with anybody, just so that they can access not even explicit or risque content like, let's say, pictures of radioactive wasps. It's an actual thing, but like any content that they deem permissible, leading to even the likes of me agreeing with absolute abhorrent individuals like Mr. Sigma on the wall, who's the skibbiest of them all, Nigel fucking Farage. And then on the other end, we have companies like Valve, itch.io, bowing to the whims of payment processing companies because of the long-term effort of Christian conservative advocacy groups who have made it so that, well, anything of explicit nature should just be banned. Which is why, of course, today we're going to be checking quite that type of content. This is what we do on the channel. We're not exactly provocateurs, but we dabble. Now, I have been requested in the past to check out a review from Sseth that is on a game called Elona, which I think is one of his older videos when he was, I guess, a bit more edgy in his delivery, but still, I want to do a little bit of a twofer today. So we are going to be checking out the old content as well as the new review that he just put out, because apparently this one is supposed to be like a spiritual successor or something of the sort. So as always, we're going to be witnessing how the man has aged as a fine wine. So first and foremost, please do make sure to go and subscribe to the man, and let's get into this one.
Hey people, Seth here. Recently, I've been playing the pinnacle of Japanese culture, a game called Elona, and also realized there are no real reviews of Elona, since the game is largely played by weebs and man-children, myself included. I felt this is a huge shame, because there's really nothing that comes close to the bizarre and wonderful world that is Elona. Elona is a turn-based roguelike RPG with a lot of sandbox elements. It's also completely fucking free, so go find and download the latest copy of Elona Plus.
Sounds gay. I'm in.
And play that shit, because it's fun as fuck. I'll attach a direct link with everything you need in the video description. There's also usually a general discussion thread on JP, and the weebs there know far more about the game than me.
Oh my god. Alan, you have to decide which of these monthly contestants win the honor of being sent back in my little girl gene engineering execution playroom. What the fuck are the dog sister, obviously? Oh no. Flashbacks of Big Brother Ed coming in clutch.
In terms of gameplay, Elona operates on a very conventional design style for this genre. You control your character from a third-person perspective, move with buttons on the numpad, and use the entire keyboard to access different interaction menus. If you get a bit scared by that layout, Elona also offers a little graphical context menu that allows you to access virtually every menu by just pressing Z, X, or C. And that's as much as the game gives you. As for the rest, it leaves you to figure that out for yourself. Would you like to be a brawny manlet dwarf fighter? Or a horrific mutant that grows an extra limb every few levels and can eventually swing 8 different axes at once? Or a snail pianist who has to slowly sliver to his next concert while being crushed to death by his poor choice of profession? Or a literal suicide bomber who gives cities the sweet taste of nuclear annihilation? All these examples are possible, and that's why people keep coming back to the game, even continuing development after the original coders left for other projects. Story. The game takes place in the land of North Tiris, which sometimes experiences unpleasant weather conditions in the form of ether wind. Ether wind is a mild gust of magical bullshit, side effects of which may include random mutations, malignancy, and the progression of ether disease, which is really just the first 2 examples mixed together with becoming a deformed abomination.
Aww.
Since the magical wind tumors are magical, everyone points the blame towards the elves. About time someone dealt with these knife.
You can't trust the elves. Never. Those self-entitled, higher-than-thou, long-eared, with smooth, silky-haired creatures.
Eared fucks. Anyway, everyone hates elves, but the ship you're on crashes, and elves help you recover, and then make you eat the corpse of a homeless person. After giving you a tutorial on the controls, they fuck off to give the king a message, then some shit happens, and I didn't really pay attention because it's all English bullshit. The story isn't the main focus of the game, and thank God because it's some typical anime plot, which can be summarized as this. Go very deep into Emperor Hirohito's crypt and keep Emperor Hirohito from rising from the underworld as he plans to reinstate imperialist Japan, and the Liberal Democrat Party of Japan is shitting their pants because after he consolidates power, he'll publicly execute the spineless cuckolds that took US money and sold their own country from under their feet.
I mean, Shinzo Abe was dealt with, so...
That's as much as I can review. The game is too weird to be held to standard criteria, so
No
instead,
shit.
I'll tell you some of my personal adventures and experiences to sell you on it. As soon as you get out of the tutorial cave and enter the first town, you can choose a starting pet. The options are fairly standard: cat, dog, bear, or little girl. Naturally, I chose a little girl. Sadly, my little girl drank from a dodgy well and got pregnant halfway through a dungeon escort mission. So I had to fend off monsters, fend off children coming out of my little girl while...
No. Maybe the UK's right. Maybe. It's a small percentage there.
frantically looking through my inventory for something to abort the endless stream of fetuses. Luckily, I still had 2 bottles of sulfuric acid, the most effective way to terminate an unwanted alien pregnancy. Many quests in this game are randomly generated and lead to a great deal of hilarity. I received a contract from a town guard who wanted me to get another villager's kiwi through fair means or foul. I found the citizen, offered to trade something for his kiwi, only to find that since the quest had been posted on the public notice board, the kiwi had rotted inside the man's inventory. I traded for it anyway, and somehow this was still acceptable by the guard. I promptly received monetary compensation and extra karma,
140.
something that is very useful for not getting fucked by the authorities. Right after that,
What?
the guard ate the fucking rotten kiwi and vomited. My karma sank lower than the amount I gained for doing the quest, as I was an accomplice to food poisoning. Sometimes a villager will ask you to get something for their son's birthday, like a broken vase, garbage, a dangerous wand that could potentially maim your child, or just an actual piece of shit.
I was about to say, very immersive with regards to the kiwi situation and causing food poisoning, but then, and actual shit. I want to give my kid shit as a birthday present. I suppose this is something that they kind of put in there. But, like, how are the items generated? Like, can you just rename what an item is called in the game? Because that's what I assume is happening here. Or else this is pretty insane.
The parental instinct in this game is great, as harming grown adults incurs a karma penalty and guard intervention, while attacking and killing a child carries no such repercussions, meaning that Elona genuinely just borrows from the Greek school of ethics, where a child isn't legally a person unless you survive to the ripe old age of 13.
To get to vote.
And get to vote when they're 30. The same villager may then ask you to clear the woods of dangerous monsters, such as hermit crabs, unlicensed nurses, and unattended children. Some of the quests can even be completely rigged. I've had missions where you need to escort someone's family member safely to another town. only to discover that the family member in question is a trained kamikaze samurai. I didn't exactly know what that meant until I got ambushed by bandits during the escort. To defend his family's honor, the samurai instantly charged a pack of them and exploded, causing me to fail the quest, lose reputation, lose even more karma, and be instantly branded a criminal. And if you're a criminal, life is hard. There's only one city in the game that'll take you, which is Durfee. A place with no guards, but many, many prostitutes. You can complete quests here and attempt to raise your karma out of criminality, if only half of the quest givers were actually reachable. Half of the time, the shopkeepers will start openly fucking whores in front of you, blocking all conversation until they're finished. By the way, there's also a sanity mechanic in this game, which for some reason reduces your sanity after using a hooker. Maybe from the rampant herpes they carry, I don't know. In rare circumstances, this means that a citizen giving out a quest fucks a hooker, goes insane, and attempts to attack the hooker. However, being insane greatly lowers their stats, meaning the hooker nearly always wins the brawl and kills the citizen instead, preventing you from starting or completing a quest until they magically respawn days later. By which...
What is happening? What is happening? This sounds like the plot like a fever dream from the good old... Do you guys remember the heavy metal cartoons? Like this was one of those type of movies and stuff that you were not supposed to be exposed to as a kid. But okay, as always, we get to watch them even with our older cousins. And then for like a whole week, you just keep on thinking to yourself, what the fuck did I watch?
Each time the contract may have already expired, and you get penalized with further karma penalties. After much hardship, I thought there must be a safer way to make money, so I took to performing music for tips. Getting tips, however, requires that you finish your performance, which is really hard when, midway, someone decides they don't like your performance and throw a fucking rock in your face. Half of the time, this is done by guards, because killing terrible musicians isn't a crime in Elona. On the other hand, everything is a crime if it's done by you. I learned later how to pickpocket, but as my skill level was very low, wanted to practice on something easy, like piles of clothing or trees. Yes, you can pickpocket a tree and steal it from a forest. Then, as I'm peacefully uprooting trees in the woods, a fucking ghost flies past and calls for the guards to arrest me.
I was about to say that Mother Nature just gets personified in the form of Markiplier just coming in clutch with a fist. Give me back my tree! The wood is mine!
Even in the depths of a wilderness, if a hideous abomination lurking the underbrush sees you pilfering a chestnut, they'll make sure the authorities know about your wicked sins.
Well, shit.
It did pay off in the end, though. Did you know you can steal from monsters? Furthermore, did you know you can steal the arm off a mecha and prevent him from fighting back?
Oh, cool.
Allowing you to potentially kill the level 30 monster and level up several dozen times? It's true.
Oh, that's cool.
Just don't let him catch you in the act, or the fantasy popo will have a word with you. Raising skills requires you to spend quest rewards, but raising attributes is a bit more complex. It's a slower process, since the gains are exponentially better. One of the hardest to raise is charisma, as it directly allows you to have more followers, servants, and adventurers in your party. That is, unless you eat engagement rings. You heard me right? Engagement rings. Any item that has an inherent attribute bonus on it, like engagement rings, which give 5 extra charisma, will in theory give you those attributes if you somehow eat them. So, you stack a lot of scrolls of inferior material and degrade that metal ring repeatedly until it turns to paper, then into cloth, then into fucking meat, and guzzle on that shit. After swallowing enough meat rings, you'll be utterly irresistible. Even as I was writing this review, Halloween came around in Elona. So trick-or-treaters came to my house dressed as skeletons and asked me if I want a trick-or-treat.
Oh no.
I asked for a treat, so they called the cops. Some days later, more skeletons came around and asked me the same question.
Is pest or
I picked
cholera?
trick. So they molotoved my fucking house and burnt down my bed. Fuck those kids. The karma loss is a small price to pay for their screams. And that's only some of the crazy shit that's happened to me. Elona is a game that keeps on giving. Much like chlamydia, it also satisfies your JRPG grinding itch. Much unlike chlamydia, the burning of which will only get more intense as you ignore the symptoms and avoid seeing your local GP.
It never
is
ceases.
very Japanese, so you can either do interesting things and explore the world, or autistically grind your stats and skills to the point where you can kill God. And then the God inside that God.
Now that's very Japanese. Dude, Japan is super anti-god. Japan will go to length to kill a god in any media that it can afford. You know this from JRPG for the most part, right? Persona, the Fate series, even in that media form, right? In anime and or mangas, especially opposed to the games. Like, if they don't have you fighting against like a divine creature, they literally have you playing as the reincarnation of some 40-year-old man in a fantasy access of power who calls God a bitch. This is one of the reasons why we kinda love Japan.
Japan. Elona is a game that defies description and shits on convention. A game where you can marry your own
that's
dog,
good.
genetically engineer a child to have more feet so they can wear 2 pairs of shoes, or kill a dragon by throwing alcohol at it until it's too drunk to defend itself. It's really an experience, and I can't say anything more than go and give it a spin and see if you like it. As always, hope you enjoyed the review. More videos coming soon, and remember, everybody loves Shayna's ass.
And now onto the real thing and trying to understand why it is that Seth is dabbing on the game.
Hey people, Seth here. I broke my microphone again. These lines come directly from a $10 webcam. Elin has reached early access. This is the equivalent of the CIA putting crack in black neighborhoods, but for the neurodivergent community. Elin is a game where I imprison the elderly, turn them into livestock, and have them lay eggs to make a new generation of senior citizen. Naturally, every grandpa starts off as a baby, needs to be breastfed by other grandpas until they come of age, and fed a staple diet of pastured hay to grow old and brittle.
I mean, on one end, I will say that I appreciate that this version now goes for the elderly instead of children.
You can choose a starting pet. The options are fairly standard. Cat, dog, bear, or little girl.
That's a positive change.
At which point, I mount them to a wheel of pain to generate electricity, so I can power my lights and watch Sailor Moon. I have a lack of beds, so there's a tower of pensioners stacked on top of each other every night. Each day, my population explodes, as a hot spring incubates faster than an actual womb. And each day, it contracts, as I put a for sale sticker on Grandpa's forehead. Legally, I have a license. Morally, I pay the church. In the same fashion as Bill Gates tortures his body double every day to evade karma, as long as I buy a letter of indulgence, I can sell 20 pensioners and still work off my karmic debt.
Bill Gates and his body double. So, what do you have to say about Epstein? So he's dead.
Upstanding citizen. They are untouchables, and I will not reincarnate into a water bug. But first, a message from our sponsor. At Raytheon, we don't just build missiles. We build memories. At Raytheon, we don't just neutralize civilians. We vaporize them. Raytheon. Because it's not just a forever war. It's a forever family.
I'm not gonna put it past him. He's LARPing as a weapons dealer, but damn. Raytheon art is it's a very Seth thing to do. He didn't even get sponsored for that. He was just doing it for the love of the game.
As the successor to Elona, which I reviewed over 7 years ago, Elin is a sandbox adventure like no other. Build a base, open your mailbox, receive spam in the form of a suicide bomber, cultivate 3 billion crop strains for testosterone, open a tourist trap and scam them for terrible prices, deliver vomit and feces for children's birthdays, poison unsuspecting townsfolk, get engaged to your child bride, send her to be stoned at the gallows, pickpocket her engagement ring, marry a slime instead, play
Music.
fuck?
Get shot dead because they didn't like your performance. Bake bread.
Yep, we
by
heard of
using
that.
raw flour. Wish for a Glock 17. Receive a railgun. Read Goblin Smut to learn their weakness. Throw your smut in the trash can and make the trash pregnant. Punch
It wasn't horses, was it?
their weakness. Throw your smut in the trash can and make the trash pregnant. Punch a hermit crab for so long it levels up. Enjoy hallucinations. Get cursed. Realize the cursed item you're wearing is made of food and eat it directly from your body.
get his stats.
jumped by a pack of cows. Comply with their demands and brush their fur. Capture a bomb rock and host it as a parasite. Use its suicide attack to strip mine dungeons. Buy a tent.
Wow.
Use a paper material hammer to turn it into a portable pocket plane. Worship every god. Receive their apostles and artifacts. Abandon every single one of them. Roll a succubus and prostitution max your way to insane stats. Murder someone's
Whoa,
son
whoa,
and
whoa,
kill
whoa, whoa, whoa,
succubus
what?
and prostitution max your way to insane
A chicken dislikes you. Oh no, don't. No, let's not even question this part.
stats. Murder someone's son in cold blood. Bake their meat into a rotisserie chicken. Shit out a dream larva and blend it into the food. Feed it to their parent and make them fall in love with you. Make everyone love you so hard you recruit the entire city. Turn the king into a broomstick and ride him as he calls me a fat ass and tells me to lose weight. Whip him until he turns to prostitution. Some may describe Elin as a bizarre Japanese fantasy where you enact outlandish policies such as human rights or a mandate for everyone to wear panties. But that's not fully accurate. It's about paying tax. The karmic weight
Right.
of missing my monthly tax deadline is 40 times more serious than unloading an assault rifle on a homeless beggar. This is a fantasy. Funded by the IRS and TurboTax. On being asked his intentions for the game, Noah, the developer, had this to say. I simulate Tokyo Salaryman. You make no money because everybody live to 110-year-old.
Damn it,
And then you
Seth.
take your own life. Game costs $20, real good. Game costs $20, real good. You could
Damn
be
it,
a
Seth.
chaos gene stealer with more hands than limbs. We don't care. Pay the state or suffer the consequences. This game's entire premise is about you getting suckered into owning land by two contract killers. Then sucker someone else into $20 million in debt for that same property.
Oh my god, you can't even escape late-stage capitalism in a video game. Fuck.
There's intrigue, politics, and lore, which you can ignore entirely as you read everyone's death log, which moves very quickly and contains a lot of slurs. Most of them from me, but I prefer this multiplayer, as taking the Moongate to visit a random Japanese base will instantly depress me, as I see his beautiful creation, and compare it to my own O-Block ghetto favela. You can even put custom sprites. Half the time, this is animated
Yeah,
smut.
cool.
This is preferable to getting one-shot by a death trap the instant you spawn in, or seeing a Boeing 767 approaching two skyscrapers, or loading into Outer Epstein, which has a 767 approaching two skyscrapers, or loading into Outer Epstein, which has a one-tile entrance that takes off your clothes. Players will see their
Yeah, I see it. Bathhouses. Yeah. Does it also contain crazy, creepy geezers just smiling to the top of their
options
teeth?
for a pet, and most will pick the little girl. But if I throw a hormone drug in her face, she becomes a little boy. This presents the duality of a player base. Pedophile or pederast. Look, this is a setting where the surface went extinct and got repopulated by a cosmic mushroom, whose only reference point for how biology works is Japanese doujins.
You know, that would explain a lot. And I'm sorry. How is there a tag for eggs? I know that Japan is one of, if not, no, it's China, the US, Japan, I guess, right, who are the biggest consumers of eggs. And I know that people have perhaps like a fetishization of, eating, but eggs, how?
That's why everyone lays eggs, because he didn't know any better. Everything is an opaque, esoteric mechanism with poor documentation.
Okay, so everybody has a morphology of Perry the platypus. They are mammals who lay eggs, can shoot freaking electricity, railguns,
railgun.
and are, what's the word I'm looking for? Venomous. Okay. I think that I'm following.
which the community abuses and exploits until Noah figures out a hotfix or workaround for their shenanigans. This is ignoring the fact that half a game is designed to troll you. Tick an innocent menu option to auto pick up fish. Die instantly because you picked up a whale. Drink from a water source. Mutate horrifically. Play on permadeath. Slip on a banana peel in the Village of Atonement and lose everything. Get AIDS. Catching ether disease is a natural part of gameplay and progresses if left untreated. How do you do that? By playing basketball. To cure your magically inflicted AIDS, you must become Michael Jordan. The casino chips you earn can...
No, I thought he was going to say Magic Johnson. You know, the one individual who was, well, rich enough at the time to have his entire blood replaced. That's a meme, by the way, okay? Don't take that seriously. We're joking along here. Magic Johnson didn't actually replace his entire blood. Dude is not even cured from HIV. Still has the virus in him. But it makes for a good soundbite.
Then be used for higher stakes gambling. This game is a constant gaslight. I came into this expecting fun. Now I'm paying tax and addicted to slot machines. I hope you didn't take an oath before starting your character, because the blackjack table is rigged. Save scum your way to the cure and live life as normal. There are alternatives, but that requires kidnapping little girls. Memes aside, what is this? It's single-player RuneScape with no level cap, and a crafting system that lets you recreate nearly everything you see. Towns, winter hot springs, beach resorts. You can even walk off a shore and build underwater. Everything builds into something, which can be dismantled to make everything else. Material alchemy is an art form, which lets us mine out entire dungeons and turn copper to cocaine. Nothing I say is an embellishment. I throw alcohol at my blue eyes white dragon, have sex with it, and end my turn. Understanding esoteric systems by absorbing every wiki article is
Screw the rules, I have Oren.
the bulk of your experience. You don't have to know Japanese, but they're more informative than the porn-sick groomers that make up this game's English community, which is why they're partitioned away in an apartheid state. For starting off, any race or class is viable, and the possibilities are endless.
You're a fat, ugly Polish whore, or you're, I don't know, Jewish person, you're a black person, you're a rapist.
A Wraith Executioner can use mana as a second health bar. Combine this with worshipping Itzpalt or Hiromi, and you have an infinite health bar. Chaos Shape Inquisitor lets you save scum for hours, and ask if it's truly worth it, as you enter the void and get soundballed repeatedly. Or, if you're a masochist, you can pick Snail Tourist and put on permadeath. Everything now costs twice as much, but the trade-off is that salt kills you. My Jury Warrior isn't meta. Her perk is garbage, and ultimately, it doesn't matter, because I bring a small army wherever I go. Do not feel limited by your choices. With enough investment, you can make anything work.
Yo, I want this. Exclusively the Madoka Magica build. Yo, Witch, what do you do? I use a shotgun.
Your objective is always the same. Get stronger by getting richer, so you can get even stronger to get even richer. Material capital will fuel your physical sociopathy. There's an infinite number of ways to do this, and these are simply suggestions. Invite residents to work your land and perform jobs and hobbies, such as gaming, gambling, gacha, prostitution, and self-harm. Set up delegated farming and automate crop rotations for passive income. Grow honey, turn it into wine. Grow mushrooms, turn it into wine. Catch fish, turn it into wine. Get paid a salary because people want to visit. Not for my impressive displays, but because I've stolen incredibly expensive panties from different NPCs. The main way of getting stats is eating food. Thus, our only obstacle is our stomach. So, we apply the secret teenage girl technique of vomit maxing. We eat, we throw up, and then we eat even more.
We do not condone that here, okay? Believe me, as a fucking thing. God damn it, dude. The return of the wordsmith. This is the thing about Seth, right? His subtleties are there. They are very much appreciated. They don't... It never feels as if he ever tries.
As we watch our maid pick up vomit like the peasant she is. It's hard to gauge these values. Luckily, there's a variety of graphical and gameplay mods to augment your experience. Automate tasks and replace sprites with the horniest combait you've ever seen. Mpreg got the Woz milking machine? Sign me up on...
Yo, seeing Scott Dwars in the weirdest places will never cease to amaze me.
On top of this, the game itself has a lot of quality of life convenience. You can auto-dump your entire inventory, configure resource distributions, and even just Ctrl-F to search for anything on the map. Everything is completely customizable. In my case, I've gone off a deep end and can no longer see what I'm doing. This is a game of problems and solutions, and dealing with the problems you cause along the way. Mass monsters are a special creature that multiply upon taking damage. There's a spawn limit of 20 monsters entering your base at any time. Taming a mass monster, putting it on the gallows, and sealing its offspring on a set of tiles 10 Z levels higher seemed like a great idea. Until I visited my base again, only to find out everyone is dead. It turns out 2 of my NPCs are coded to teleport directly to enemies, causing them to split and spill into the base, where everyone is too weak to one-shot them. So they infinitely replicate until they fill the entire screen. Conversely, the final boss is too hard for me to kill. By pure chance, I loaded into some Japanese guy's base, which had residents who were level 250,000. They're so high level, they take 30 steps for each of mine, which they spent on gambling, drinking, vomiting, and passing out at high velocity. I fed them aphrodisiacs, and one of them laid an egg. Microwaving an egg has a chance of exploding, which is incredibly funny in the middle of an orphanage. Explosion strength is tied to quality, and this one is 2,773. I heat the egg, and one-shot Inos, the party, and myself. This might seem ridiculous, but the Japanese have already killed him with a beach ball and a banana peel. NPCs hold beach balls in their inventory when thrown at, and this one was modified by several thousand cursed scrolls of flying to weigh 10,000. So when Inno spawns in and charges, he slips in a banana peel and is crushed to death. The world is your autism playground. Join all the guilds, learn all the skills, whip pensioners on your cotton plantation. It's your fantasy. Now back to work, Cracker. I'm not here to tell you that unless you've got insanely high taming and throw love potions at a spiral king deep in the void so you can feed that breast milk to a chicken so you can genetically engineer him into the strongest creature in the game, that you haven't played the game. There's no win condition, only your creativity. So choose a goal, a direction, or a hyperfixation, and the rest is up to you. For as many turbo-level Japanese hypersweats at level 3 billion in the void, there's just as many who haven't even left their own base. So rest assured that no matter where you're at, there's some guy who spent his entire playthrough cultivating mushrooms, who has more money than the entire economy. In short, I love Elin. It's a very
Holy shit, this is like the mixture of all the games. Like you have RimWorld in here, you have Chinese RimWorld here, the cultivator game. You have some Arcanum features in here that are just bloody insane, like Arcanum without a manual. Caves of who? Play this.
Sweet, beautiful, and calming game that I can't help coming back to. The developer doesn't sleep. He pushes a new unstable build every night, and I wish him the very best. There's enough content for several hundred hours, and it just keeps getting better. I thoroughly recommend it. As always, more content to come, so stay tuned. This video is dedicated to my ops, because I had a script ready after 50 hours, until I saw someone write a critical thesis about my Elona video, took it to heart, and played another free 50. It was only later brought to my attention that the man who affected me so is a barely literate weeaboo who paid thousands of dollars for his cringe OC to be put into the game. He did...
What?
Weeaboo who paid
The silver cat. The silver cat. Okay, so you can... The silver cat. So what? If you become a backer of this, you get your own character in there?
Paid thousands of dollars for his cringe OC to be put into the game. He did all this so I could turn his waifu into a burger. A warm thanks to the many members of the Merchants Guild generously funding and bankrolling these videos. You're all truly wonderful. Have a good one.
But the game is beautiful though. Look at that. Amazing sprites. And of course you can make a lot of it yourself, but Damn. I don't understand that it took him 3 months to play through this. That's insane. Oh wow. I just couldn't bring myself to play a game like this because I have other things to do in my life. I'll be stuck there forever. I kind of need a purpose to kind of feel that slight bit of achievement every single day. This is why I don't play many MMOs anymore. Let alone the popular ones. Just the fucking door. Wow. I like how we always manage to find the most insane games ever. And this one is not even hidden, given that when I'm looking at it here on Steam, it's pretty out there. A lot of people are playing it. And like, when a line describes a game this way,
Every night. Each day, my population explodes, as a hot spring incubates faster than an actual womb. And
what do you even say to that? Another insane game to add to the list. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for checking out this reaction. As always, please do make sure to go and support Sseth by either subscribing and or liking the video on this channel, or just do both. That being said, I wish you all to have a wonderful day. Don't lose yourself too much in this type of games though, and I see you guys in the next one. Bye.